thereabout. But we don't have enough money to pay him. Like, the list is going to collect is maybe 2.5 AM per month, but we don't have that kind of money here because we're still bootstrapping, or maybe we just don't have family and friends thereabout. So it's very important that another way to encourage such talent to stay with us is to issue stock options. Say, okay, it will vest over a period of 2 years. That's if you remain with us in 2 years, your contract is not terminated. At the end of 2 years, your stock options will mature and give you this particular percentage. So it's advisable that founders keep between 10 to 20% of their shares for stock options thereabout. Very, very important. So that's where the second option comes in. That's hiring employees thereabout. Then the third option is also for clearance of taxes. So like we all see what's happening with FTX now. There's this wide all around, and they're currently being investigated by SEC. So the first thing the SEC asked them for was their cap table. So in the US, cap tables are like very, 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 very important. Because that's where they begin to talk about maybe this next step where you say you want to sell the company or you want to do an IPO. Your cap table comes into play at that point, because it's there we can now look at, okay, what's your current valuation now, and how much each shareholder will be getting, and thereabout. Next slide, please. Okay. So this is just like a question to us, not thereabout. It says here, I don't know how these things change, but then it's like asking, why do founders not take cap tables serious? And I'm bringing it to us. Why do founders not take cap tables serious? Anybody? What you? Because we have founders here, that's definitely. So, okay.
They probably don't know they should.
Wow, that knows it. That just knows it. Any other?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Well, no one's asked for it yet.
Sorry?
Nobody has asked for it yet.
No, okay. Nobody has asked for it yet. Okay, nice one. Okay. Any other suggestion again?
All right, I'll take some who don't know where to start from.
That's the habit. Yeah, some don't really know where to start from, and that's very, very important. And that's why it's good that we engage in forums like this. So, this is just two things that pointed out. You could lose control over your company if you don't understand how capitals work. I would like to share like a capital we worked on in our company. It was so serious that the amount they even paid, mixing with the second point, in legal fees was hectic. Like, it was that serious. So they just kept on receiving, hey, investor, I like what you guys are doing. It was in the fintech, and fintech is hot kick. Like, those investors don't want to hear, fintech, they kept on receiving, at the point of, so they didn't keep it clean, not that they didn't even have, but it wasn't clean. So when it was time for an exit, it was so messy that there was a lot of legal charges that was in and out, back and forth and everything. So it's very important that we make sure our cap tables are very clear, because investors, even once you want to fundraise, one of the first things they look at, like I said earlier, is your cap table. Once they begin to notice those glitches, they might not tell you directly, but they will just take you through a very long wait process, and at the end of the day, we might get a no. So if you don't ask for feedback, for instance, now, it becomes like, okay, maybe they didn't like what you were doing, but then very sensitive stuff such as cap tables are what investors look out for before they can invest into your company. All right. So now that we've talked about all this, we've talked about the challenges. Next slide, please. Yeah. So I'd like to talk about Brad Fled. Who knows Brad Fled? All right. Brad Fled is one of the co-founders at Techstars and Foundry. He talks about something about founders that are pitching. He says investors are looking at a whole lot of things. Things as simple as automation. How have you done the automation, in terms of, okay, let me use this case study now. Cap team, when you're pitching that, you're sending them an Excel sheet. Sometimes it's like there's really like a conflict of ideas there about. So they really want to see how much you are automating your processes, because you don't really have all the time. So that's what gave birth to capable software management. So rather than, so for those of us who don't know, for those of us who are not in the know of how these things work, so there's a platform you can actually automate your cap table using the software. So it's just on a single click and you're good. So rather than having that Excel sheet that is prone to error, that you might not see, you and I might not see it. There's a software, different softwares, that makes sure all these things are very, very clean. And not just that cap table alone, it does some other things for you. And we'll see that. So for instance, now on the risk platform, one of the things you get is you're able to manage your cap table, you're able to automate your due diligence. So all those documents that investors are always after, you're able to store them on one single platform. So rather than sending this document, that document, everything, you could just send them your link, as simple as your link, and they have access and they see a whole lot of things. And you can also build your valuations. So valuations are very, very important. Some companies are undervalued, some companies are overvalued. So you don't know what your company valuation is. It can turn out to you losing so much if you undervalue, for instance, now. In the future round, you will see that you can lose so much of your percentage because you're not working at the real exact price of what your company looks like. And lastly, you can track stock options and all those things. You're able to do that. So on the Raise platform, this is what you would see, for instance. So you see the company, you see ownership. So ownership talks about founders ownership. You can see 20% total issued shares. So all these things are just very, very, very simple for you. It gives you a graphical view of what your ownership looks like. So you're not stressed. Once you just log in, okay, we just raise a round, and we can do that. Next round. It's the next round. So next page, please. Is it good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So also you can do your flips on the Raise platform. So you want to do your incorporation, maybe you want to incorporate in the Delaware. It's seamless for you to do. So you can fast track your fundraising. So like I said, making sure it's very, very easy for you to fundraise seamlessly. It's just a link and you're doing all those things. Then one platform that does all your legal documents, fundraising, and all those other very cool stuffs. Next slide. Okay. So these are just some of our companies, startups that use the Raise platform. So for microtraction, now knowing that they are a VC, how we work with them is from time to time we send pitch decks over to them. Once we send pitch decks to them, they review, and if so, there are no guarantees that they're going to invest in you or anything. But then some of our advices, some also will do that investment inside your business. So next, okay, so Fingo raised their round in 2 weeks on the Raise platform. That's very, very, very simple and very fast platform. Then next, okay, so this is in more details, features we can get on the Raise platform. So automate your cap table. So this saves you so much time, it saves you money also. You don't have to, start going through one and one to update. Then stakeholder management, you're able to manage that, adding subsidiary data. So maybe you have another company in Africa or somewhere, you can also add their data there. Corporate secretary access, transaction to update cap table. So you can also issue electronic shares. So for instance, now you just had someone that's pumping money into your business. So for things that has to do with share certificates, you can issue this to them on the platform electronically. Then investor insights and tracking. So this is one very cool feature that I so like about the Raise platform, because it gives you insight on what investors are doing on your platform. So maybe you just shared your deal with them, So you would see how much time they've spent, you see what are the documents they are looking out for, and a whole lot of things. So this, and they're also able to communicate with you, if they will need to go around, go next with you. Then you can store documents up to like unlimited data. They are limited users, so once you're fundraising, building your team, you can invite all your team members to work with you. The rights and preferences is very important. So who owns what rights, who owns what share class and everything, you can set that up. Then scenario modeling, this is also very important. So I want to raise $500,000 for instance. What's the impact of $500,000? $500,000. What's it going to mean to my company if I'm receiving it from an external source? Does it mean my percentage ownership would go down, would come up, everything? Definitely to go down. So you can see all this, and once you just even closed your round, maybe you've done your pre-seed, and you want to look at what your round will look like when you're doing the future, maybe your Series A or pre-Series A. You can also do that scenario modeling on this platform. Automated NDAs, then employee stock options and vesting, just like I mentioned, very, very important. Every founder in this house should begin to think about stock options. It's not just paying the employees' salaries alone that matters now. Stock options gives them a sense of ownership, very, very important, and they're always committed more and more. Then automatically calculated interest on debts, then investor access and investor simulator. So investors also can simulate. So I'm giving you $1 million, for instance. What is my return on investment going to look like? They're able to do all this seamlessly on the platform. So I'm coming very close now to the end. Yeah. The next slide, please. Okay, so this, you can skip this, just talking about African companies that you can add, then your corporation. Next, please. Yeah. So this way I really, something here I wish you guys saw it. Okay, but then I'll talk about this. So this is coming from raise through here. It says info.getraise.ie/raise times Techpoint Africa. So I'm sure you're not able to see, probably able to see, but then I'm sure you share it, right, to everybody. So with this link, you're able to create your account, a complimentary account for free. I think you guys should clap for for free. And I think you should also appreciate Techpoint bringing this. So it's for free, And all these things I've talked about, scenario modeling, share classes, stock options, it's not enough to just, the way I've come to stand here and talk about it. As founders, you should be able to log into the platform and do these things seamlessly and try your hand around it, play around it. So this is live for just this November. So as many founders coming, that's $50 on the platform currently. Coming on a monthly basis, that's free coming up for as many founders that will take advantage of this opportunity. Because what gave birth to this is our company looked at it and said, okay, founders are always choked. It's always you're paying this subscription, paying that subscription here or there, and looking at how to support as many founders as possible, because seated here at the future pays tax, future flutter wave, if you do believe in yourself, definitely. So we believe that we should support as many founders on this journey and educate them from time to time. So what we do is we come to platforms like this, and so many others to talk to people about this thing. So today we are talking about cap table. Next time, somewhere else might be about valuation, might be about hiring and retaining and all those things. So we talk about all these things from time to time, making sure founders are very, very well grounded and connected with what it is they are doing, and they can save time to focus on their core business. So for as many founders that are here, please take advantage of this link, and create your account for free. Try your hands on these things and see. Then in case there's any challenge, we have a very responsive customer success team, very, very responsive. So, but then there are things that you should be able, you really don't need any guide per se, but then if there is any, you can always come up to book a call with anybody. Me, so I'm not here alone, I'm also here with my colleague Abiola. So Abiola is product marketing lead there. So he always receive mails from Abiola, from Raise and everything. So I'd like to say thank you to everyone. At this point in time, I'll take questions. Questions. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. Before we start asking the questions, I'd like to know how many questions we have. Your hand came up first. So we have 1, 2, 3. Do I have the 4? Do I have the 5? It's not necessary. So we have 1, we have 2, and we have 3. Okay. Number 1.
Udo? Yeah. So I want to ask, want to clarify something about the benefit of the platform. So I was going to ask a technical question. Okay. Yeah. So mention something about the company raising in 2 weeks on the platform. So you said that part of the benefits of being on Raise is that one can also raise funded round on the platform.
Okay.
What's the second?
No, it's fine.
So the second one just shed more light on stock options and then restricted stock units. Because I was seeing investing, I was seeing stock options. Just shed more light on that and then talk about which is the better option in terms of liquidity for early employees.
Alright. Thank you. In fact, that was asked on talking about closing around in 2 weeks. So on the platform, there are no investors there. So it's not like it's not a crowdfunding platform. It's just a platform that gives you leverage to fundraise seamlessly. So once you have your pool of investors already, you understand, you just share your link with them, and then they come in and view your deal room. So because you also set up your deal room, so maybe you want to use your safe note or your convertible note, anything, all the terms that you're going to put in the fundraising, they will have access to this. So rather than you having to maybe travel to meet an investor physically, for instance, that's time, and that's money that is going, So, but with this simple link, just for your business, you're able to share it with them, and then anyway, so that's so much time and money you've seen, and they can now access everything you've done and say, okay, I like this. I think we can invest this in this and thereafter. So to the second question on stock options and restricted stock units, thereabout. So it's quite technical, very, very technical. Looking at your liquidity also, I would say it's important that you know what works best for the jurisdiction where you are. Like if you look at the African market now, for instance now, most companies, they just after salary, maybe HMO, and give you all this other pension and all those things. But then advanced companies, startups now are beginning to give stock options, but you don't have access to it immediately also. So it takes time. So it will vest for maybe 2 years, maybe 4 years, and say, okay, after 4 years now, because you've committed so much into our company, now your shares can now convert, the stock options can convert into shares, and if you're leaving, you can do it, as long as you are not terminated. So it depends on what criteria you put on ground. So I hope I didn't lose that question.
Just to clarify, why particularly asked for the difference and which is preferable to the Nigerian market? Yeah. So as to also know, as far as that's here, which option, I know there are different. Yeah. Stock options depend on restricted stock units. The options say that you can buy ownership in the company at a certain price, usually at a lower price, than is generally available. And restricted stock unit is that you actually are getting the shares already, or it's invested over a period of time. Yeah. So I'm asking, so for the Nigerian market, maybe your own experience, your research, all of these things, which is really preferable from an employee perspective, because this part of the breaks you are telling the employees, right? So from an employee perspective, which is going to be better.
So to incorporate, I would say the first option is better. That's the stock option, because anything can happen. An employee can get fired. So at that point, it begins to, have this lawyer, you need to bring in the legal team. But let's vest, let it be over. So there are some kind of vesting. So there's a cliff vesting, there's a graded vesting. So like if it's after 2 years, then I can say every quarter, this is what it breaks down. You get 25%, 25%, 25%. Or I say cliff one at the end of 1 year, at the end of 2 years. So rather than giving you shares at the beginning, you know, and you know how employee market is, the labor market, people can run away anytime. Especially once you get the I'll just go. But I've given you shares, you've not committed time to my business, you've not committed resources. So the stock options are better in terms of giving you that period to invest your resources in the company. You know, then you will now get the reward after that period. Than getting the reward before putting in the work. Exactly. Alright, number 2.
Okay, hi. Chike. Alright, my question, I picked my question from what you're saying, and I wanted to ask you a question first. Why do the company exit early? Secondly, how do you value yourself? I heard you talking about.
Okay, yeah. So why the company exits early? So many factors lead to that. So many factors lead to that. For instance, now, maybe there's an issue where it's obvious that this company is failing. Like you know, and they're not able to raise rounds to save. So maybe you have 300 employees you need to pay, for instance, now, and you're not able to raise money to pay. At that point, investors will just give you the option, hey, we just have to sell out this company, you know, so that, and the selling out doesn't mean the company will fail. It just means that things will change totally. Like decision making will no longer be you anymore. You know, it will be the new boards that is coming in. So many things can, for instance, now I can also have a change of interest. Think about, for instance, what Otedola did, you know, or of this company. I'm not interested in, it's not giving me the projections I thought I would get, and I want to move into another sector. So that's majorly around a whole lot of exits, you know, and so it's, and then again, cash. So cash is very, very important. So you can sell off and let the new thing come in and take over. Then they'll pay you from that. So that's one. Then 2, valuations, right? Yeah. So valuation is very, very, very large. It's not what I can talk about here. You know, so there are a lot of conditions that you can use to value a company. There are so many methods. You know, there's a scorecard method. Things as simple as your team. You know, the kind of team that you have can also determine what your valuation is. You know, then also the global markets, like a company in the fintech space now will be highly valued than maybe a company in healthcare, for instance. So if you look at the global data of that company, of that industry, it gives different factors. So there's a DCF method, there's a scorecard method. So if you want resources on valuations, I can send them to you, and you need to work. It's not what founders are really concerned. You can't value your company by yourself because there are global methods. There's the investor method of valuating. You know, so there are some investors that will say, okay, I want the VC method. You know, someone else will say, I want scorecard method. You know, so thereabouts. It's just for you to have an idea. You won't do it yourself. So, like on the race platform, for instance, now once you come in as a founder, you want to get your current valuation. We have an expert. We have a team that will do the valuation and send you the reports. And you look through it, you know, and if it's fine that you are an investor, you can add it to your platform, and that's how valuation works basically. It's not just what if you can just sit and say, okay, I think my company is worth 300 million. It's not that way. The fintech company in Africa cannot stand a fintech company in Europe in terms of their worth, you know. So that's that. I know valuations are basically how much a company is worth, you know. So that's where it is. How have you able to answer?
Yes, yeah. I think the third question I wanted to ask, he asked the question concerning the platform, race platform.
All right. Number 3.
My questions are this many.
I saw you jotting now. Anyone that can answer, I'll definitely give you resources.
Chidi, my name is Chidi.
Oh, nice Chidi.
I want to ask from his valuation question. For an early stage startup, to proceed, okay, how would you value? I mean, how does raise to the valuation? If such startup would be issuing safe notes, and they are saying they want to defer valuation, so how does the valuation to raise come in? Okay, that's one.
All right.
2, if I were to raise a family and friends or angel round, and I need to flip to the Delaware sequel, what happens to the investors, these investors, family and friends, angel, as per the cap table? How would that reflect the cap table? Will it be that they're investing in the Delaware sequel when I flip, or is it that they're investing in the Nigerian subsidiary where I operate? The third one is investors. Okay, so they need to sign up. If I invite them they need to sign up. They have their own accounts to sign up and raise, or just a link to just come in and do what they need to do and go. Then we talked about the founders setting up the times or whatever they're going to do. Their times is to raise to help them do this. And do I need a lawyer to help me get to those legal jargons? Okay, then a last one. Wow. Thanks to Techpoint. Thanks to Techpoint and rates for giving founders the discounts. First, the discounts for 1 month expires in November, or 1 year, or to be used to be activated in November and to be used anytime for 1 month. And for those who are already signed up on rates, how do we benefit from such discount?
Okay, thank you. Good questions. I wish I was writing them down. Okay, I can remind you. Okay, from the sense of what I can remember. Okay, in terms of the Delaware corporation thing, that's the one. So normally when once you're registering, you have access to 10 million shares. Okay, that's then you begin to distribute that. Which your current activity in Delaware. Yes. $1 million? Yeah. The ordinary shares. So depending, of course, it's majorly in dollars there. So you begin to distribute it from there. But you can't take away family and friends if based on the agreement you had with them. So you will still lose out of your own shares and give to them. So for the new investors coming in, so they will definitely take their own part, and it begins to increase or decrease. But what's very important is you see your dilution. That's very important. So you would see, okay, I was owning 40% before. It's what has happened with the new house and everything, I'm now on 22%. So it helps you, it gives you a guide, okay, do I really need this money? So it's not about that fundraising there, it's about, how much do you need? And don't forget that this money that you're fundraising is not free money. Like founders used to think it's free money, you'll pay back. It might take time.
But sorry, how does the structure work? That's what I want to understand.
Okay, so in terms of how the structure works, I will be able to give you very good, clear, explicit details here because these things are technical. There are a lot of things that are going, and it also depends on your term sheet also. So there's a whole lot of things. But I can share articles with you at the end. You can always read through and get very clear on the corporations and how they work basically. Then, next question, if I can remember.
Okay, valuation.
Yeah.
How do you go around valuation for companies raising safe notes?
Okay, safe notes. So basically, there's no law that states that if you're using, I know for convertible notes, you don't necessarily need valuations. But for safe notes, you need to need valuations because it's going to mature in the future, and at that time you are raising, so it's important that you know what you are valued. Still, it boils down to what I told you also in terms of valuation. You can't just sit down and say, this is what I'm giving out, that's what I'm giving out. You will see that there's a whole lot of complexities around it. But then we can share these things with you. You can look through it, read through and see, okay, this is how it works. And it also depends on the methods you're using. So these methods are just quite, I don't want to keep repeating myself because it's different. So on the rates platform, you mentioned something about the
investors need to sign up?
Yeah, so for investors, they don't need to sign up. What they only need to do is to sign the NDA. So like once you share that link with them, so they automatically get an NDA, non-disclosure agreement. And afterwards, they can now have access to your deal room because you are giving them that permission to look at your deal room and they can now do everything they want to do. But then it's expanding, like what we're building very soon is going to be a different dashboard for investors entirely. So what we have now is founder fixing. So investor that will wait, there's going to be a market pool. So all our founders here, for instance, you can log in there and put in your terms, and they will be able to view your deal room and speak to you directly. A whole lot. So it's wide. Like they also will see all the investments they have, maturity, but that's for Q1 coming year. But then it's just about signing the NDA and they can view the deal. Was it?
Okay, there's templates. There are templates to help founders.
Okay, yeah, so there is. So, like, if you're taking a safe note, I wish I could log on to a live account now. You will see everything is there. So, it's so simple, like, everything I just said looks simple. On the platform, it's very simple because you will see it there. First option, you see what are you using, convertible note, or say, no, if you click on the safe note, you see all the time. So, there's a template, you just put in what it is when you want to close your round, all your terms you want to put, and you play. So, that, of course. Then if there are now some things you don't understand, maybe something, and you need to reach out to someone in the base, definitely. You can always just book a call, like I'm always around. You can just book a call and get more clarity. So we have a legal team also that helps you guide you through these things, because some terms are very technical. Like some
different service.
No, it's together. It's not. It's together. So lastly, what happens after November? Yeah. So after November, you still have access to the platform, definitely. You can still do a whole lot, especially for founders that have not raised above $250,000. You can still do all those things. But once you raise above 250K, you move into the paid plan. But on the free plan, on the plan where you are still able to do a whole lot. All these things I talked about, then you'll be able to do your scenario modeling and all those things. So that's like it. So it's just quite simple for you to.
So I asked existing people who have already signed up.
Yeah, so okay, for those that have signed up, are you on the free plan or on the
I think I'll get free
plan? It's just you're still in line with everything, So I think for the free plan, what we can do is maybe are you fundraising anytime soon? Or are you doing that anytime soon? So what we can do for you is introduce you to investors. So there's a whole lot of investors that reach out to us and say, hey, you guys, we know founders are fundraising and everything. Well, do you have some deals? I can share that with them, but there are no guarantees that they're going to invest in your company. So it's just like like a value-added service for our existing customers. So that's where we are. All right, thank you. So I will need your email. We will talk after, so I can share those materials with you. And also, Udo, right? Yes, yeah. So any question again? All right, would that be all? Okay, thank you so much for your time. Please don't forget to use the link that will be shared. How many of us are on the WhatsApp group? How many of us are on the WhatsApp group? First of the WhatsApp group.
Not everyone here. Some people are coming for the first time.
Okay. All right. So you can always speak to us at the end and we'll share that link with you so that you can access these tools for free. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Okay, so I know last month I said I was going to add us to the WhatsApp group. But I didn't collect our numbers, so I'm going to
sign up with phone numbers.
Yeah, unfortunately some people's phone numbers are not the accurate phone numbers. So during the whole process of verifying whether this is your actual number, it's just too stressful. So you see the link, just shorten it, so just click or type it into your phone and you will be taken to the WhatsApp join. Okay. So if you're having any difficulty So please don't send what do you call it? Don't send breaking news to the group. Thank you. Okay, while we are doing, I can keep on talking while we are doing that. So is that right?
Is it exactly the
MCII?
Is it
No.
triangle?
MCI?
Are you supposed to be all cap letter as opposed to be small?
Give me a second. Okay, it's 11. Yes.
There's no more control.
Should not small letters.
Okay, no, let me just go it down. bit.ly/30, no, okay, 30,
300.
30, then 0. 300, and that's a mistake. 300, then M, small letter M.
300.
Yes, 300, small letter M, capital letter C, and 11.
Come again.
300.
Yes.
Small letter.
The O is 0.
The O is small or big?
The O is big.
Okay, someone joined already.
300.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Capital N.
No, small M,
Small M.
capital C,
Capital
then
C.
11.
And then.
Yes. That one.
300.
Yes.
300.
Yes.
Okay.
Capital O. Yes.
Still work.
Small letter M.
Yeah. Capital C and then 11. You didn't work as well. Okay. Look at that. Did you work? Okay, so we are putting on now 0. 3.
Is it capital C or small letters?
Capital C.
Capital O, 0, small M, capital C, 11.
So, moving ahead now. So, unfortunately, none of the people were able to reach him. So, what I'm going to do is, if you wanted to reach or you want to reach, okay, one person said he wants to reach. So, not reach, you can do that today. But we don't have a lot of time, so we are not staying beyond. The last 10 minutes we just be for networking. So, we are not staying beyond 6:15. Questions?
Yes.
Yeah, so we are not staying beyond 6:15. So you don't need to reach. Sorry, you don't need a big deck. Can you do it without a big deck?
Pay for my phone.
Okay, you can send it to our email number.
So.
Let me just assume an elevator is just it doesn't empty.
Okay, alright, so come forward.
Okay.
So you can still send it to me in case people want to look at it while they are asking you questions.
Oh, okay. So
You still have difficulties. I think it's better if we're looking at it. hand is.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Oliver Wilson, founder of Coins and Cash. Coins and Cash is building a super financial platform to distribute more financial services to Nigerians. Now, why do we want to build a super financial platform, and how do we really want to build it? So we're taking cue from the fast-moving consumer goods space, looking at how they're able to penetrate different parts of the country with their services. And we discovered that they have done it through an agency system, whereby almost anyone can become a distributor of their services. We've also seen success with this through POS agents that are taking banking even into some remote parts of Nigeria. And now we think it's time for us to now have more services being distributed across the country in such a manner. In the sense that people are now know about withdrawing, now know about deposits, but financial inclusion is actually much more than that. So on one hand, we have people who have limited access to financial services, which is condition to the dream of financial inclusion, which is supposed to be about quality, access, and usage. On the other hand, we have amazing financial services being tried out on a daily basis by amazing Nigerian fintechs. And so you now have them being restricted to a limited market size of people who are very tech savvy and are always following them on Twitter to know when these new products are out. So what are we doing? On one hand, we're picking out the financial services that are available, and on the other hand, we're turning almost everyone who can actually do it to become distributors, even offline or in their peer group influence. So that's how the super financial app is going to be. So we're not going to be doing deposits, withdrawals, and the regular things that most people can already do. We're looking at other things that people actually need to do, such as accessing credit, selling on, doing payments online, converting of currencies, selling money abroad, receiving from abroad, and services that in that line. So those Coins and Cash is going to be building. So in summary, we're helping to bring together the fragmented financial services space in Nigeria, and we're also going to take it further down to people who on a typical day will not be on Twitter to figure out what new services are out without that app by themselves. Thank you. So in addition to the pitch, we're also currently raising a family and grounds there.
Okay, so do you have any questions? If you have a question, I can see it on your face. Yes, sure.
Me?
Yes. Any questions? Yes, please. Any other question? Two. Is there a third hand? Yeah. Three. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. And maybe 4. Okay, great.
Thank you very much for that. My name is Binga. My name is Binga.
Yeah. Alright.
So I work with the investment team at CCL.
Oh, okay.
So nice to see what you have there, but I'm sort of curious to know.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you're building a super house, right?
Yes.
And you want to do something else other than deposit credit.
No, the credit is part of it.
Credit is part of
Yeah.
it. But I want to understand how you position yourself. So are you positioning yourself as a financial service provider or a distributor?
A distributor.
So that means you're going to be a marketplace to sell for a holder.
So it's going to be a distributor, but the marketplace is not how clients are going to see us. Typical clients will see us as financial service providers, but operationally we are distributors. I think to answer your question.
Yeah, because that's going to bring you to asking, so what would inform the selection of images and platforms?
On client side or producer side?
Yeah, because you're doing machine, right?
Yeah.
Supply demand. So,
Yeah.
I mean the financial institutions you are distributing for.
Oh, okay, so licensing, reputation, and individual.
So how do you solve that? It's not like KYP, right? So how do you solve that?
So for a start, there's not a big challenge to it because typically major ones will start with Flutterwave, Incra, so those are already they are licensed, they're popular, they're good to go. So it's much later when we need to do more specific services that will then have a thorough KYB procedure for onboarding providers that will be working with.
So what would in terms of your business model,
Yeah.
how do you think about that?
Alright, so we've not completed that yet, but we're tinkering around subscriptions as well as low commissions, to make it low on the two ends, low commissions, low subscriptions, and combining together. But we've not finalized on that model yet.
Who pays subscription and who pays commission?
So subscription and commission from the consumers. So because we're considering taking our commissions from the providers, but we need to get the volume level first before we can negotiate that with them. So for now, the business model of payments will coming from the consumers.
Who would you say a typical competitor? So I'm going to...
A typical competitor? Yeah, so a typical competitor
what
will...
differentiates you?
A typical competitor will actually be a digital bank that wants to now do everything by themselves. Take Uber for instance, will be a competitor. Or an e-commerce platform that now wants to add financial services. Take Bumper for instance, will be competitors.
Because the one I'm thinking is why the revenue to you, right?
Yeah.
Why the revenue to your financial system? Because you're going to add online costs. Seriously, right?
Only for the financial service providers, right?
Yeah.
Which one of who accessing their services, we're going to pay them for now. We have to pay them. It's more or less like I use the example of FMCGs. Right? If I'm let's say I'm the CEO of Nigeria Distributors, which is an FMCG distribution company, they literally go and pay Coca-Cola to get drinks. They will pay UAC to get gala. They will pay OK to get biscuits. Then they'll carry all of it and go to the street vendors to distribute in an easy manner. They'll add their own commissions on top. But again, as time goes on and they're able to build and they become the major supply chains for those producers, they now have a bargaining chip with them. So that's why I said for the beginning, payment is coming from the consumers. Then much later on, as we have much more volume with certain providers, we can then negotiate from that end as well. But if you have any insights you want to share with me, anything you want to suggest, I'm very open to that.
Financial service typically work,
Yeah.
right? You might not want to compare private consumer FMCG.
Yeah, sure.
But the typical FMCG, I mean, we know a couple of trade people on the line, So a financial service is quite different. Financial service is basically intermediation, right? That's what we sell.
Yeah.
So you leveraging on distribution. I agree with you, yes, it's the next big thing. When it comes to distribution of financial service, right? But again, it depends on what you're playing, and you might not be able to play the FMCG model.
Exactly that model, right? Yes.
So that's why I'm so curious to know how you actually adapt to the business model. Because I'm not your typical customer, so you're personal, right? I'm your customer, so why would I want to pay you to get me onboarded to get financial services?
It's basically the same reason why I might don't mind paying 100 naira to the POS agent to withdraw 5k when I can do it for free at the ATM or in the bank.
So distance, so you're selling convenience.
Exactly.
Right? So the typical customer that you have will need.
It's not somebody. It's not you. Let me use that word. My typical customer will not be you.
So the question would be, so that customer, how sure it will be
they can afford it, and that's actually a big thesis that we are running our business on. The fact that more people can afford more services than we're literally thinking about, simply because they cannot access it doesn't mean they cannot afford it. And I use the argument of banking with POS systems. The banks would have argued that people who could not come to the physical bank could not afford banking services, but POS has proven that otherwise.
Because come to think of it, right? You're selling credit, you're distributing credit, you're distributing remittances.
Yeah.
You should have services, insurance, for example.
And as a common, basically.
All right. So credit. The problem with credit is this. Typically, you suggest a customer
to them, yeah.
Because for them, there are a lot of things that come into credit.
Yeah, sure.
There's 3 C's, right? There's collateral. There is this risk of default risk insurance, and all those things before they can get. So
So we're starting the lower hanging fruits of remittance, currency conversion. Those are the lower hanging fruits. We'll start with this one before we go into the.
The funny thing is, so if you're saying it's not typically new, I think remittance.
Oh, we also. Yeah. Okay.
It's been nice to have a chat with you. But I think a lot of things.
Sure, we're open to that. I mean, the major sport what we're currently building is thanks to the Techpoint Hackathon actually. That's been a big sport for it. So we're open to having that chat. Sure. Next question, please.
Okay, cool. I think he has asked most of the questions, but definitely. So my question has regards to the credit system that you're talking about. In terms of if you are like servicing people who are unbanked, definitely most of them don't have an account and they have virtually no credit history. Right. So number one is how do you intend to vet those people if you are going to be providing any form of service to them? That's one. Secondly, talking about the agency model, it's not really as simple as it may seem, right? So, and if you're talking about remote services, having, if that's really your target, how was your plan? How do you intend to onboard those people onto your platform? That's the second question. And also, when you talk about, in terms of you basically aggregating services, aggregating services from different areas, including insurance and other stuff. So the question now is, how do you intend to play that model? Because if you are plugging in different areas from different companies, definitely you have more issues to handle.
Yes.
Right. So how will you be able to in terms of the perception of the customer right now?
Yes.
So are they getting, let's say for instance, the insurance? Are they getting the insurance, or do they think they are getting the insurance from you? Or are they getting it from maybe Leadway? You make it clear that okay, you are getting this from Leadway, or is actually more of a camouflage?
Okay. Thank you very much. All right. So for the first one, we're not serving the unbanked. I don't think I ever mentioned I want to bank the unbanked. I'm not doing that, right?
You talked about financial.
I said we're going on a shadow level. I did not mention unbanked. I cannot promise to know how to.
So what's that? Is actually talking about, right?
No, I said I already explained. The financial has 3 dimensions. It's quality, it's access, it's usage. It is not just having a bank account. Alright, and we said that. So, for instance, we have 35 million BVNs in Nigeria, and for the popular fintechs, 54 now. Popular fintechs, the highest user base I've ever heard of is PiggyVest, 2 million. So you have 54 million BVNs and just 2 million people on PiggyVest for those savings. Right, it's a far cry. And I'm making the argument that it's not actually because the remaining 53 cannot afford to save, especially because they are not in a convenient manner to do it. I want to bring that convenience to them. So that's the major argument in which we're building and creating service, right? I will ask you a question about unbanked.
Like the point you just made now, for me, like I kind of find that because if you talk about 54 million BVN, you can't have a BVN if you don't have a bank account, right?
That's what we say, we're not getting unbanked.
So he's just inclusion quality and usage.
Exactly, you're underbanked. This is how we should just better, right? We're not targeting unbanked. It's not going to be anywhere in our pitch there. We're not promising to do that.
So since you are going to the remote area,
I don't say we're going to the remote area. I didn't mention, just you're assuming for all of them. No, we're not doing that. So we mentioned about onboarding agents, right? For the past 2 days, we've been going around, and so we've learned actually a lot. In fact, today, before coming down here, I was also again on the road meeting people to onboard agents, and we discovered that a lot of them are quite open to doing this, but they need a bit of course, that onboarding process, explaining to them things, and then of course they need to have trust. So we need to work with a lot of trust, trust to do the onboarding. So that solves the issue of, but it's not easy. I'm not going to write the it's not easy. Then you asked about whether people are going to be seeing the service as through us or not. So it's going to differ from service to service. And I cannot say all of these are going to offer to the company gets an IPO level. I cannot say that. So you always depend on each particular service and how customers intend to see it. If a customer wants to hold me, they are transferring money and it's we they want to hold, they are not going to be telling them it is through another person, right? What they are coming to see is coins and cash. But it's shown like insurance, we don't go to the insurance level yet, we don't go to the credit level yet. But off the top of my head, I want to believe that when it gets to that stage, they want to trust a bigger company more than they want to trust our own brand. So we need to make it clear that it is his brand or partner. But when we get there, we definitely know whether it's to use the coin and card brand for the credit, or that's very clear that it is from the credit institution. So I think that answers your question.
We'll take yours next and then Children will take yours.
Alright.
Okay, so
that's my boss anyways.
limited and this is what you mentioned. APIs. When you have APIs at downtime, third party providers.
Right.
How do you
solve it? So we're going to be, or we're now in the business of partnerships and content. And I mean, I'm a very big content person, right? So we're not going to come in and say one remittance and we're going to depend on just flutterwave, sent by flutterwave. That's going to be too risky because again our value position is convenience and access. So it cannot be just sent by flutterwave that we're going to be using their API. You're going to have one script that we're working with. So the energy who expend on building our products by themselves, who expending it on managing APIs and partnerships. So I think it's still business anyways.
I've been flipping through the
right?
And first of all, it's funny design.
Yeah, thank you.
And I still don't understand what you're doing after doing all of that.
Yeah.
So can you explain in very simple terms what you're doing, and also maybe not in Nigeria but or Africa, who does something
like this? Okay. Alright, so this was my pitch there. It's some of those things when you're trying to supplement in a very short time.
Work in progress.
Yeah, basically work in progress. Right? And then for what we're doing basically is, like I said, it's a super financial platform. So when I talk about it being us being distributed, just talk about the business model basically. For a typical first interaction with our platform, it's going to be to the customer as a super financial app. That's what's going to be. Right? Then for a company doing something like that, currently, I said in Nigeria, already pending towards that direction, Scooter and Bumper, right? And maybe Brass, Scooter and Bumper. Then in the UK is
how does Scooter do that?
So already tending towards that path. So they're not there yet, but it's pretty clear from their recent, product that they've been pushing out. The most recent one was the one you can invest in stocks. The free adverts for that.
They're two different products.
I mean, it's still through to that.
So walk me through from when I find or hear points and cash, walk me through to the point where I use the financial service on the platform.
Okay, so you depend on where you're coming in through. You're coming in through an offline agent, or you're coming in through the application online.
The application.
Online.
Yes.
You look like a typical bank app, right? Okay. And then you answer the services that you can make use of, and then you just make use of the one you prefer.
So on PiggyFest, you view the investment feature that they have. So I can see it there that this is provided by I think Cowrie-wise has something similar.
Funds.
Yeah, I can see Greece providing. If I want to save money on coins and cash, for example, do I see that my savings is insured by First Bank or anybody?
Yes.
Okay, so it's very, very clear.
Yeah. That one is very clear.
Okay.
That's a very clear impact.
I think I'm getting an idea of what that would look like.
Very well, seems closest to what you do.
But they are just for family and friends and also having people that have industry experience.
So if you have industry experience, financial services,
you don't go on any now.
Alright, so I think that's it. My Oga has given me signs that we should start wrapping things up. So you don't have to go immediately. You can spend a little more time, eat, and then speak to each other. Probably help him with the next phase of growth for Coins and Cash. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So like I mentioned earlier, next month will be our last Friday for the year. I'm not very, very, very sure how that's going to look like. They are trying to do something a little bit different instead of just speaking. But one thing I can say is there will be no knowledge sharing session. It will just be founders coming, or you don't have to be founders, but founders, any other person just coming in and networking with each other. A few people will also be pitching as well. But I will be sending out details once that's very concrete. So thanks so much once again for coming. So sorry for keeping us. We started 1 hour late, so you know it's not like customary for us. So thanks so much for staying with us, and I hope I'll see you next month. Okay, yes. Techpoint Africa is hosting a FinTech Summit. I think I mentioned it last month. This month, November 26th at 4 Points by Sheraton. So you can go to fintech.techpoint.africa to get your tickets. There's a regular ticket, there's a VIP ticket. So the VIP ticket is 30,000 naira, if I'm not wrong, and the regular ticket is 4,000 naira. So you can go get it now before. I think you have 2 weeks before it's like you just have it there. So hopefully you can get it. And I think there's a discount for the Pitch Friday community. I don't know, I have to confirm if you can still get that discount, but you get a discount for members of the community. So fintech.techpoint.africa, and you can get a ticket, and I hope I'll see you. So thanks so much for coming. Have a nice day.
Thank you.